Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining me. It is Friday, October 24th, and I am here to bring you another uh, crime story. I just watched it on Netflix yesterday, I believe, or the day before I finished. And yeah, amazing crime story. One more time. Oh my goodness, this is number 7. So if you haven't catch the other one, if you haven't caught the other ones that I've done, they're in my playlist, so you can go check them out there. Lots of crime stories if you're into that kind of thing. This, before I get started, is where I'm at. I hosted Diamond Painting with Friends 2.0 last month for September for landscapes, and I am working on gondolas in Venice. This is from Diamond Art UK. I'm also working on another one that is the Backyard Paradise, and I haven't finished that one yet, but I'm pretty close to that one as well. I'm working on them equally, so hopefully they'll finish around the same time and I can give you a completion and review on both. So far it's working out great. I always have the regret of, I always start at the bottom right hand corner and then I live to regret it because I run into trouble when I get to the top. So I'm going to start changing things. I'm going to have to start changing things and start at the top. I'm not used to it, so it's going to take me a while to try doing it that way. But other than that, it's working out well, and I'm enjoying it. I've been watching a lot of court cases on TV. If you're new to my channel, I really love to watch court cases. When I'm diamond painting, sometimes I watch other diamond painting channels. For the most part, I've been really interested in court cases. And I found a new judge on TV. She's not really a judge. She's more like an attorney, and she's really good. So if you're interested, let me know and I can let you know who that is. That's not what this is about. I'm going to be talking about this crime story that I just watched on Netflix. If you guys don't have Netflix, that's not a problem. If you have YouTube, if you have TikTok, just go and search up this documentary and you'll find all the information you need. You don't need that documentary. You can find out all the information you need about it. It happened around 2023 in June, the actual incident that I'm going to talk about. The Netflix special that I'm talking about is called The Perfect Neighbor. I will put up on the screen the advertisement for it so you can find it on Netflix. It was really good. It was disturbing. It was shocking because a lot of it took place. It was a body cam footage from police officers who took body cam footage. So it's called The Perfect Neighbor. It takes place in Florida, and it's centered around a neighborhood. And this neighbor, whose name is Susan, what's her name? Susan Lawrence. And she lives in a neighborhood, and she has been bothered by neighbors' children who are playing in her area. These are all, what do you call it? They're all, I have some notes here that I've written down. It's a duplex, and there's 3 sections of housing. There's a field that is close by to her, and all the children in this area, in this neighborhood, play together. And the way these houses are laid out, it's not a good idea for these kids to be playing because there's not enough room for them to play. So there's this field nearby across the street, and the kids go play. Well, this neighbor Susan lives very in close proximity to this property, and she seems to think that she's in charge of that property, and she has been harassing these children. She said that they were harassing her. She said that she was, that they were yelling at her and screaming at her. But anyway, this started in 2023. The footage from the body cam on the police officer started 2 years prior. So this was ongoing for 2 years. The police were constantly called to her home by her because she was annoyed. She was trying to get them to stop the kids from playing in her vicinity. She was bothered by them. They were screaming and yelling and just playing what kids do. And she would constantly call the police on them. And it became a nuisance to her. And, every time she called the police, they went out there to check things out. They really couldn't do anything. They tried to get her to just calm down. I mean, like, why didn't she just move away? She kept saying that she would move away, but she never did. I guess in her mind she felt she shouldn't have to move away. She moved into that neighborhood, by the way, herself. So you're an older woman and you're moving into a neighborhood where there's lots of kids. Do you not think that the children would be playing outside? That boggles my mind. So guess where I went after I watched this documentary? You guessed it, TikTok. I go there all the time to see what everybody's talking about, what everybody's saying about it, and everybody's up in arms. Everybody's upset about what went on. A woman got killed. A woman was shot. She admitted that she shot the woman, but she said that she shot her in self-defense. She said that the woman was apparently what happened was one of the children had left a tablet, not an iPad, but a tablet. So one of the children, after she yelled at them to get off her property, I guess the child, in fear, dropped the tablet and left it there and was afraid to go pick it up. So she kept it and she wouldn't give it back. So, and then in one of her tirades, telling the children to get off her property, she would call them all sorts of names. Supposedly, that's what the documentary says. She was calling them all sorts of names. She claims they were calling her names as well. But they were black. It was a community of black people. And, she said some really bad things to the kids. And one day, I guess one of the moms got fed up. The mom of the kid whose tablet was taken, that she took and didn't give back, she decided to go and talk to the woman. Now, apparently, Susan was on the phone with 911 before she arrived. Before the woman, the mother, her name is Annika. What's her name? Annika Owens. And Ajika Owens. She went over there to talk to her about why she wouldn't give back the child's iPad. The child was scared because she had tormented the children. It wasn't the other way around. I don't believe that maybe they were doing things, maybe, what kids do. They ring the doorbell and they leave, DoorDash or whatever. But that's what kids do, and she was getting annoyed. And I understand her frustration, but it took a turn for the worse because Ajike, I'm sorry, I don't remember how to say her name. She was shot. She had gone to Susan's home to talk to her about why she wouldn't give back her son's tablet, and according to Susan, she was knocking on the door aggressively, and Susan was afraid. Susan claimed that she said she was going to kill her. No witnesses said they heard her say that. But the mom, she was frustrated because you shouldn't be yelling at children, saying horrible things at kids. You take it up with the parents. You don't take it up with the child. You don't say horrible things to the child. So the child, before he had run away, he had told her that she was going to go get his mom, and Susan said, "Go ahead, go get her." And um, so apparently, I'm going to go back. She was on the phone with 911 just before this incident occurred, 2 minutes before. She was on the phone with 911. They said they're on their way. Next thing you know, at 9:01, she fired a bullet into the locked steel door, and it hit the mom on the shoulder, and unfortunately she died from her wounds. And it is so raw. The footage is so raw because it's like you're watching it as it's happening, and the emotion that is pouring out from the family when they find out that she had died because this woman was so aggressive with the children. She was so nasty to them, apparently. And you know, Susan is in prison for 25 years for murder. She did murder her, and it was also explained in the documentary that apparently she had researched the stand, what's it called? Stand your ground. It was the stand your ground law, which means if you feel threatened, someone's about to hurt you or kill you, and you're on your own premises, you have the right to defend yourself. She had researched that. So was she premeditating that this woman was behind the door? She was behind the door. The woman was on the other side of the door. She had heard her, and she planned. She said, Susan says she's scared out of her life. She's so frightened this woman was going to come through the door and kill her. So she had a gun in her home, and apparently she couldn't find her phone to call 911 again because someone was at her door, and Susan said she was claiming that they were going to come in and kill her. That's what she felt. She felt fear for her life. There's no remorse about yelling at the children. There's no remorse about calling them the N-word. There's no remorse about telling the child to go get his mother. That is like, she's egging her on. She's saying, okay, go get your mother. I'm going to talk to your mother, type of thing. What are you going to do when mother shows up? And I believe that she planned to kill her because she had researched the stand your ground law, and she said, okay, this woman's coming to my door. I hear her pounding on the door so hard, so viciously. She's telling the police that she feared for her life. This woman was going to come through the door. She was pounding on it so hard. There was little bit of a break, and then it starts up again. And yeah, it was crazy. She feared for her life. And yet she took a gun and shot through the steel bolted door and shot the mother of this child. I believe it's Israel Izzy. Watched his mother die. Watched his mother get shot over a tablet. Over being called names. She could have just stayed in her little complex there, her little home, and said nothing. Closed the doors, closed the windows. I know that sometimes you want to open the windows, but there are kids yelling and screaming and having a good time outside. Let them be. Maybe go to the store if you don't want to be around that. And she claimed that they tormented her too, and I don't know who started it. But this neighborhood has been having problems with this woman for a long time, 2 years, since the woman moved in. And she had problems with this mother. She had 4 kids, 4 young children that now have no mother. She showed no remorse. When she was being questioned in the police station, you could see that she was in the police station and she had no remorse whatsoever. This woman's something else. And I don't know what to make of that. I was really shocked. I was saddened. I was angry for those kids not having a mother. She had every right to go to this woman's house. Was she aggressive? I don't know. I don't think so. I think everything happened in Susan's mind. And when they were at the station, they were questioning her, and a lot of what she said didn't add up. The timing from when she called the 911 and when the neighbor mom arrived, 2 minutes, and she was dead. So she said, well, this woman's threatening me. I feel threatened. I feel unsafe on my own property. I'm going to shoot her. She had just gotten off the phone with 911. They were on their way. She could have waited. She could have waited until it subsided, but she didn't know what to do. She was confused, and she shot her. She shot her in the shoulder, and she later died of her gunshot wound. Can you imagine if there was a child on the other end of that door coming to ask her for his tablet back? It could have easily been one of her 4 kids who had been shot. But it was a mom whose children have no mother now. It was crazy. One of the craziest crimes I've ever seen. And if you haven't watched it, you gotta go watch it. A lot of people on TikTok are saying if you're black, don't watch it. It will be very triggering for you. Because there's that movement, the Stand Your Ground movement, and like I said, she researched it before that day, and so this seemed to be premeditated. The police were thinking it was premeditated because she had researched this. Okay, stand your ground. It means someone comes on your property and you feel unsafe. You're able to defend yourself. But she told that child to go get his mom. So in a way, she sort of lured the mom over to the house through the child. The child went to go get his mom, and the mom came back to talk to her, and they had a confrontation through the door, sort of. Not really. All she heard was pounding, and she was scared for her life. Susan was. And she took advantage of the Stand Your Ground rule. She said, okay, I feel threatened. I'm gonna shoot this woman. I feel unsafe. Well, she's got 25 years behind bars, and I hope she never comes out. She was an awful person, treating the children that way. It was awful. So if you haven't seen The Perfect Neighbor, I urge you to go watch. I'm just reading through my notes. There was a guy living next door, and he had no problem with the kids playing in the field next to that woman, Susan. So I don't know why. It was really sad. It was really sad. Apparently, Susan was also. It was also said by one of the neighbors that she would come out with a gun and start waving it around to threaten the kids. She's in jail now, so I hope she stays there, like I said, for the rest of her life. I didn't do much diamond painting. I just told you a story, a crime story. And I invite you to go watch. If you don't have Netflix, by all means, go to TikTok. If you don't have TikTok, you're watching me on YouTube, watch it on YouTube. Search for Susan Lawrence, and it's spelled Lorencic. So go watch that. The children today are being taken care of the grandmother, the victim's mom, She's taking care of 4 kids, 4 grandkids, and I hope they're doing well. I hope they found a little peace. She was convicted in November of 2024, so it's almost a year since she was convicted, and she's behind bars. I would like to know if anyone's living in that house where she was living. They have new neighbors. What is your idea of the perfect neighbor? Do you have the perfect neighbor? Do you talk to your neighbors? We don't talk to our neighbors. Not that we're impolite, it's just we don't see them. It's very quiet around here. We don't have any kids on our street. It's mostly on the side streets that we have that there are children, but on the street that I live on, it's a drive, so we don't. It's mostly adults that live on our street, mostly. Yeah, our neighbors are fine. We say hello, but we're not the best of friends. We don't go to each other's homes. But yeah, tell me about your neighborhood. Do you have wacky neighbors? I want to know about it down below. And go watch The Perfect Neighbor. And I will see you on my next crime story. Please let me know below if you like them and if you'd like me to continue. There will be many, many more to come. So I will see you next time. Bye, guys.